Hey everyone, Gretchen Wegner here. So have you ever gotten to that point in the semester when you don't have a lot of time, you've been procrastinating on some of your reading, and it's just absolutely clear? Like, for example, let's say there are two books that you should read before your final exam, but really you only have time for one of them. Now, I suppose as an academic coach, I should berate you and say, well, what could you have done to plan better so you could have made time for both of those books? But right now, actually, we're just going to accept reality. You only have time for one of those books, but reading one is better than just doing nothing at all. So how do you choose which one? In the case of a client today, she had to choose between a novel that she could talk about on her final paper or a nonfiction book, and she wasn't sure what to do. Now, the novel, it's hard to skim a novel, right? I mean, I guess you can, but you really, novels need to be read word for word more than nonfiction books do. Nonfiction books, however, can be skimmed, and skimmed really effectively if you know some tricks. So I have a favorite nonfiction book that I use as an example, Guns, Germs, and Steel. And what is so great about this book is Jared Diamond is such a structured thinker that you can actually flip through the book, and I encourage all of you to try this with your own readings. You can flip through and actually notice that every chapter is set up in a certain way. Like, for example, you're pretty much guaranteed in the last couple pages of every chapter that there's going to be a summary of the main points that were in the chapter. I love to look for little alert phrases that say like thus or in some or in short. There are probably 20 or 30 of those kinds of phrases, but if you look for them, you'll start noticing that that's where the summary is coming. And if you go through and you put a little check mark in the margins of those places, then you can go back and you can actually read in detail just the summaries, and then go back and skim the chapter to fill in any details that you feel like you need. And that can make a nonfiction book go much faster. So, you know, sometimes though a fiction book is more pleasant to read. So in the case of this one choice that the client made, she did ultimately choose to work with the nonfiction book because she could probably gallop through it faster because of these little techniques that I was teaching her. I'm curious if you have little tricks up your sleeve for how to skim, but skim effectively. And if so, I would love to hear about it. You can either add it to the comments below or email me just directly at gretchen@gretchenwegner.com. Take care, everyone. Bye.